Jay-Z and Sean Puffy Combs. People is the source. Sean Diddy Combs and Jay-Z are accused in a civil lawsuit of raping a 13-year-old girl at an after party for the 2000 MTV Video Music Awards. And prior to the alleged incident, the victim claimed Combs uttered chilling words that have stuck with her to this day. In an amended civil complaint obtained by People, a woman identified only as Jane Doe alleges she was raped by Combs, now 55, and Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, also now 55, while an unnamed female celebrity watched during the party in a New York City residence. The initial complaint, which did not reference Jay-Z by name, was filed in October. According to the complaint, the accuser was invited to the after party by a limousine driver who claimed to work for Combs and told her that the mogul liked younger girls and fit what Diddy was looking for, quote unquote. Prior to this, she claimed she had been trying to get into the VMAs by standing outside of Radio City Music Hall and walking up to limousines that were bringing guests into the venue. The plaintiff, who was 13 at the time of the alleged incident, said that when she arrived at the after party, she was asked to sign a disclosure agreement and was later given a drink that she believes was drugged, the complaint alleges. The plaintiff said she was later approached by Combs, who had a crazed look in his eyes and who allegedly told her, "You are ready to party," according to the complaint. The accuser further alleged Combs then threw her toward a wall, causing her to fall. She got up and stumbled, at which point Combs allegedly grabbed her again and threw her on the bed, the complaint states. The complaint alleges that subsequently Jay-Z removed the accuser's clothes and held her down as he raped her, while both Combs and the female celebrity watched, to the complaint. After Carter finished, the accuser claimed she was then assaulted by Combs as Jay-Z and the female celebrity watched, the complaint states. The unnamed Jane Doe is seeking unspecified damages. Her attorney, Tony Bugsby, previously announced that he was representing more than 100 people accusing Combs of misconduct. The amended complaint was filed on Sunday, December 8th, and named Jay-Z, who defended himself against the allegations in a statement shared on X, saying the heinous claims will affect his family, which includes 12-year-old daughter Blue Ivy and twins Rumi and Sir 7, all of whom he shares with wife Beyonce. "My only heartbreak is for my family," he said. "My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people." The rapper added, "I mourn yet another loss of innocence." In a new court filing obtained by People, Jay-Z's lawyer Alex Spiro asked the federal court in New York to dismiss the case completely and have the accuser's name made public. Mr. Carter deserves to know the identity of the person who is effectively accusing him in sensationalized publicity-hunting fashion of criminal conduct, demanding massive financial compensation and tarnishing a reputation earned over decades, the filing stated. It added, "That campaign was cynical and calculated to force payment of an exorbitant sum of money. Defendant would have to pay X millions of dollars, irrespective of the truth, or else," Spiro wrote in the court filing. When defendant refused to pay and instead took measures to establish his innocence, this unnamed plaintiff and her self-promoting counsel, whose name has been splashed across headlines and press conferences under auspices of representing her, went to extraordinary lengths to shut down fair defense, but those efforts too failed, the filing continued. Combs' attorneys also denied the allegations put forth by the plaintiff in a statement to People. This amended complaint and the recent extortion lawsuit against Mr. Bugsby exposes his barrage of lawsuits against Mr. Combs for what they are: shameless publicity stunts designed to extract payments from celebrities who fear lies spread about them, just as lies have been spread about Mr. Combs, the statement said. As his legal team has said before, Mr. Combs has full confidence in the facts and the integrity of the judicial process. The statement continued. "In court, the truth will prevail that Mr. Combs never sexually assaulted or trafficked anyone, man or woman, adult or minor." Combs has been behind bars at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn since his September arrest on federal charges including sex trafficking, racketeering, transportation to engage in prostitution. He has pleaded not guilty and has been denied bail 3 times. An indictment previously against Combs centers on alleged freak-offs, which authorities claim were elaborate sex performances, including male sex workers and women who were forced or coerced into participating. His trial is expected to begin in May 2025. If you or someone you know has been sexually assaulted, please contact the National Sexual Assault Hotline at 1-800-656-HOPE, which is 4673, or go to RAINN, RAINN.org. National Sexual Assault Hotline, 1-800-656-4673. Hello, Terry. Thank you for joining me. Happy holidays, dear. What is the truth pertaining to these allegations against Sean Carter, better known as Jay-Z? I will say during this live stream that I do like Jay-Z. I like his music, but I do not know him personally. I do not know what he does in his spare time. I don't know what he has done in the past. I hope for his sake he did not sexually assault this child. But as you see, this lawsuit came to fruition months ago. So it's not something that just happened yesterday. She claimed that Sean assaulted her and that two other famous people were present while she was assaulted. And that came about in October. We now know the name of that famous person. Allegedly, it's Jay-Z. Is there truth to this? Is Jay-Z a co-conspirator of this sexual assault of a child? And as I brought you commentary the other day, most of you know and have heard the allegations against Sean that he is a sexual assaulter. He likes to drug men, women, children. Two famous people are in videos. Allegedly, are children in the videos that he's taped them. They're unaware of their of being taped. So now we got to ask that about Mr. Jay-Z. Is he a down low brother? The allegations about Diddy is that he likes men, boy, children as well. So now we got to ask that about Jay-Z. Jay-Z and his wife have gone out to a public function since these allegations have come forward and this amended paperwork has been put out. Mr. Bugsby says that he did not ask for money for his client. He said they wanted to have a mediation. So he's saying that what Jay-Z and his attorneys are saying about it, trying to extort money from him, is not true. That they asked to privately meet. So is that true, what Mr. Bugsby is saying in response to Jay-Z's statement and what his lawyers have to say? At this point, Jay-Z feels extorted, feels, I guess, what many would say blackmailed to pay a high sum of money. Some people allegedly have already paid. We've heard that. We've heard that they're saying that Ranger had said some people came forward to pay. So my thing is, why would anyone pay if they haven't done anything? I'm not going to give you anything. I'm not going to give you $2 if I know I have not committed a crime. I have not assaulted you. I'm not going to pay you anything. So let's ask that question. How many famous people or well-known people, well-off people, have paid some of these victims? See, what's interesting is that Sean paid Cassie Ventura day one. So many people are going to look something to her. You did something to her. And that's before we even knew about the video. You did something to her, plural, to pay her one day later. Most lawsuits go on for years, civil lawsuits. You paid her one day later an undisclosed amount of money. And I doubt that it was $1 million. It was probably more than that. So you already gave up a chunk of money to Miss Cassie Ventura. Then months later, this year, a tape is revealed to the public of Sean assaulting Cassie Ventura in a Los Angeles hotel. And yet you then apologize for that behavior, but don't apologize to Cassie Ventura. Then you take down the post months later. Why? Because you're in your feelings. And now you got these other people jumping out of airplanes and helicopters saying the same. But yet they're lying. Well, how are they lying, but she's not lying? You apologize for beating the lady up, but yet nobody else can say the same. Make sense. And another famous person, Mr. Jay-Z, a child who is now a woman, she was a child at the time, 24 years ago, she's claiming these people took turns assaulting her and a female was standing there watching who is also famous. Who is that female, and will they name that female? You know they're going to name her because they've already named Jay-Z. This is about to be a hot butter damn mess. As you heard in this statement, Jay-Z feels sorry for true victims. So basically he's saying this person is not a victim. They're lying on him, and he and his wife have to now explain to their children the ramifications of fraudulent claims and greed. But is it true? Will he be lying to his children that he assaulted a child? Now we have to ask, is he known to assault children, young girls? As I was listening to content earlier, that is what's being alleged by the person that was giving their commentary. He has been known also to like younger women. I don't know what is true or not. I'm not in his back pocket, but I know this is a hot butter mess. And now we have to ask, how will this affect his future dealings in the music industry, endorsements, and his pocketbook? Because once this type of information gets out about a person, you should know it's going to affect their pocketbook, such as it did with Mr. Combs. It affected him greatly. All ventures, some of the ventures, that he had, they pulled out. And he needs that money because that's what affords him his exuberant lifestyle. Or these ventures, dealings, companies. So Jay-Z, I would assume the same. Jay-Z is worth a lot of money. He's worth a lot. Let's go in the book of life to see how much he is worth. Thank you for joining me. One second, everybody. Happy holidays to the viewing audience. As of December 7th, 2024, Jay-Z, known as Sean Carter, government name, is worth $2.52 billion US American dollars. That's a lot of money. Most people will never see $2.52 billion in a lifetime. They won't see 1 million in a lifetime. And that's a lot to have to wrangle with, because now he's got to pay a portion of that 2.52 to attorneys to deal with this allegation. The lawyer asked to have it thrown out. Will a judge throw out this civil lawsuit against Sean Carter? Is it a frivolous lawsuit? Is it a lawsuit for greed? Was he in that room when this woman was assaulted? Was she assaulted? So you got to ask all those questions. Now, as I said in my commentary the other day, there's some conflict in this information. One article I read said she was approached by a limousine driver. Then another article said she was flagging down the drivers to go to parties. Now this article I bring you by People says a driver approached her. She's standing outside. She's obviously desperate, wanting to get into these awards. Then a driver looks at her and says something to her. This version sounds more believable. Somebody looked at her and thought, oh, there's a cutie. That's Sean's type. Let me holler at her. Hey, homegirl, what's up? What you doing? What you out? Oh, I'm trying to get into the awards. Well, hey, don't worry about that. I'm Sean Combs' driver. He's having a party after the events. Would you like to go? Hell yeah, she jumps in. She jumps in. Lord have mercy. What say you to chat? Do you believe these allegations against Sean Carter, Jay-Z? Do you believe he assaulted this 13-year-old girl in 2000? Do you believe that there were people watching, such as another famous person, well-known person? Who is this other female? I hope it's not Beyonce. Please tell me y'all ain't rocking like this, even back then, because you would have been a young woman then. These men are now 55. They're 2 years older than Queen. So they would have been in their prime 24 years ago, early 30s. And we see that this is a MO for Sean. I don't know about Jay-Z, but too many allegations have come out against Puffy that he likes to drug, he's violent, he likes to bring in sex workers, won't pay the sex workers, he likes to involve drugs, He likes to film the sexual acts. He's nasty. Terry says she believes the allegations. Okay. As I said, I like Jay-Z, but this is a damper on the spirit, I must say. But this is the whole point of life. You don't know people. And I say this all the time on this network. You don't know people. You don't know what people are capable of. Man and woman are capable of heinous behavior. Children as well. Can you be redeemed? Yes. By the Holy Spirit and only through the Holy Spirit. That's the only one that can guide you out of your mischief. So I don't know if these men are Christian men, if they believe in God, what faith they practice, but somebody need to call on Jesus, Allah, or somebody, because guess what? This is a hot butter mess. And the thing about an allegation, it doesn't have to be true. But once it hits the street, it's on like Donkey Kong. Some will believe it, some won't. And they'll trash you, they'll bring up your past, and you can best believe, listen to me carefully, you can best believe there will be another allegation by somebody against Jay-Z now, because it has a ripple effect, because chaos breeds chaos. Truth or not, this is a chaotic allegation. So you should know there's going to be somebody else who's going to jump on the bandwagon, either telling the truth or lying, and say the same thing, that, oh, Jay-Z did it to me too. It's about to get ugly. And I won't doubt that there will be other names mentioned pertaining to people who frequent these parties and actually participated in the freak-offs with Sean and other participants. It's about to get really, really nasty. And the one thing about the truth is that you can't stop it even with a dollar amount, a NDA. So now we're getting information. She signed a document while walking into this house. She's given a drink. And I brought you commentary before that someone says they were offered a drink as soon as they got in the damn door. And if you didn't take the drink, you were asked to leave. Well, see, that's a red flag right there. Who goes to somebody's house or function and they're forcing you to drink a drink? As I said before, you're not going to make me drink anything. I'm not going to just walk in the door and nobody's even saying, hello, how you doing? Welcome. Here's your drink. Drink it. Oh, hell no. I already know what time of day it is. And if it's a function where there ain't but 2 or 3 people in the room, 4 or 5, and you already handed me a drink before I even sit down, oh, yeah, I'm already out of there. Let me excuse myself. And don't think because we grown, the grown folks won't put a Mickey in your drink. That's why a lot of people walking around here and mental because they've been drugged and had an adverse effect. I've heard that a lot with people who are walking around portraying mental illness. I've heard people say, oh, they put something in his drink. Oh, they put something in her drink. She ain't never been right since. He ain't never been right since. Now, one can say these people have delayed schizophrenia or some type of mental disorder. Who knows? This is why you don't need to take drugs. This is why it baffles me when people take drugs from other people. Just because everybody's sitting around partying, however you want to define partying. Hey, I got a little cocaine. Hey, I got a little heroin. Hey, I got a pill. Take it. You're a fool. There is no way I'm getting ready to take a pill from you. I don't even know what the hell it is. I advise this to anyone. Whether you are 60, you're 20, you're 10, don't take nothing from nobody. You have to be careful saying, oh, I have a headache. And somebody says, oh, I got an ibuprofen, I have an aspirin. You don't know what it is. Even if it comes out of an actual bottle that says ibuprofen, or it comes out of a pill bottle with no label on it. You have to be careful because people will douse you up just to see you fall out, wig out, foam at the mouth, because we have dirty people like this. We hear the stories of people leaving bars doped up. So we don't know if it's the bartender or somebody slipped something in the person's drink while I was sitting at the bar on the table. You have to be very careful. And as I say this to young people specifically, you need to be careful of the company you keep because everybody is not your friend. This is how people end up hurt, drugged, sexually assaulted. Now all their business is on Front Street. We also hear that about Sean. He likes to pass the tapes around. So that's going to be the death of Sean anyway. Because what's going to be interesting, they got a tape of this 13-year-old. Come on with it, Queen. They got a tape of her. Because, see, we don't know how far it goes back that he started taping people in his sexual assaults. So, Sean, when did you start taping your sexual assaults interludes? You also hear she said he threw up against the wall. Well, you saw how he beat up Cassie, so we know that he's violent. So why did he throw the girl up against the wall? She didn't seem interested. She didn't want to go do what they wanted her to do. This is mangy, if true. This is mangy as hell. Drugging a child, she probably looked like a child. You all taking her to a back room to do some funny business. Probably had cameras rolling. People probably standing in the doorway watching, getting an earful, eyeful of a child being sexually assaulted and gang raped. Because statistically, well, not statistically, but formally that is what this is called, gang rape. This is bad. This is really bad. As I said, I pray this is not true. And I didn't want it to be true even for Sean. But that's the point. I don't know him. I don't know Jay-Z. And just like any other entertainer, Cuba Gooding Jr. had allegations from white women. He likes to touch and grow. And so it didn't shock me none when Lil Rod brought out these allegations about Cuba Gooding Jr. I said, well, he likes to touch and grow. Who's to say he's not bisexual? Don't you find it interesting? He's hanging with a sadist. So we got two sadists hanging together on a yacht. That's happenstance. No, because like minds gravitate toward like minds. Just like people who share porn, kiddie porn. They seek out people like them. They go underground to share their pictures. So they seek out a like mind. So Sean, he's going to seek out people like him that get down and dirty. And that's what he's done over the years. And if anybody has rolled a ride with Sean, you are a damn fool. Because I'm sure a lot of people are shaking in their boots right now praying they are not on a tape with Sean Puffy Combs, excuse me, and anybody else famous. Because they know if they are well known and recognizable, somebody can peep them out and say, oh, that's such and such, that's such and such. And God forbid there's a child in the mix, you are done. Whether you pay out or not, sued or not, case thrown out or not, long as your name gets out there and somebody can say, as a detective, prosecutor, I verified sugar mama, sugar daddy in that video, it's on, baby. It's on. You see these two, they're friends, acquaintances. You go into Google search, you will see numerous photos of Puffy and Jay-Z together. They were just in Hollywood, or whenever DJ Khaled got his star on the Walk of Fame, they were there. Fat Joe, there's a picture of them. So they were hanging thick as thieves. Now, that's not to say they are the same caliber. Let me make that clear. Because just because people do things does not mean the people that talk to them or friends with them doesn't mean they do what they do. But the point is, there are many photographs of you two out and about in the city, on the town. And now we have this allegation from a person who was 13 claiming you gang raped her. Is it true, Sean Carter? You sexually assaulted a 13-year-old child in a private residence in New York City. What's the home belong? Did it belong to Sean Puffy Combs? Whose house was it? Did you sexually assault this child? Who was the female that stood and watched? Was the act filmed? Lord have mercy, it's filmed and it's on tape, and the government has a copy. Somebody is sick, as they should be. We got to pray for our children because children are susceptible to being abused, used, trafficked because they're gullible and they're green. They listen to anything that people say, excuse me, and they follow. Children are followers. Not too many are leaders because they're children. And they go along with stuff, excuse me, that they really shouldn't go along with. This is the very reason why children end up dead, hurt, and incarcerated. Because they don't think for themselves. And they're eager to be a part of something, even if they know it's wrong. And the thing children need to understand, you can go down in the abyss and you can't crawl your way out. It's the same for adults. You ride that donkey ride and then you get down in there and you realize there's no way out. There's no ladder. There's no hole to crawl through. I'm in here. So this is why you need to think before going places with people, going to people's houses, getting in cars, taking drinks from people, being offered alcoholic drinks, being offered weed, pills, Mickeys, Mollies, X, heroin, crack, meth, cocaine. Doesn't matter. You don't want to do it? Say no. And then try to remove yourself. Oh, I see where this is going. I best get on up out of here. People you don't know nothing about, because children and young people got a bad habit. Hey, they're young, going in people's houses, getting in people's cars, sitting in the park, sitting, wherever you're hanging, on the lake, in a parking lot. Next thing you know, you feel trapped. Especially if you went with somebody and you see they're getting down with some monkey business you ain't with. Now you feel trapped. You got to try to figure a way to get the fuck out of there. Got to pray for our children. And also pray for our adults, because adults are being drugged as well. You see a lot of that going on out in Texas. I believe it was San Antonio, Texas has a lot of cases of men in lakes, a certain lake, being drugged at bars, don't know what's really going on, if it's Uber drivers, Lyft drivers drugging them, trying to rob them, people in the bars, bartenders in cahoots for drugging the patrons. You got to be aware. People who will drug you just to see you act out, fall out, get sick, get a high off of that. So this is my message to people, young, old, whomever. Know the company you're in, or try to. Because in the end, you don't know people. It's easy to say that, know the company, but then it's like you're contradicting yourself when you say that. All I'm going to tell you is to be careful. You go anywhere, don't leave your drink unattended in a company of people you don't know. Oh, I'll be back. I'm going to the restroom. Take that cup with you. Take the cup with you. If the conversation starts to turn provocative, sexual in nature, start acting like a damn fool up in there. Woo, I'm feeling funny. Woo, I'm getting hot. I'm feeling sick. I need some air. You got to know how to play the player. Start walking toward the door like you're throwing up. Oh my God, I feel to throw up. Oh, I need some air. And you walk out that door and you keep on gagging and you run like the devil is on your tail. You ain't got to explain nothing to nobody, that you feel unsafe. You don't trust the people who you're with. Make a smooth exit. Because trust me, nobody wants to touch you if you're about to throw up. I'll tell you that now. Nobody wants to touch you if you're throwing up. Dry heaving. So you start hearing some crazy conversations. Somebody start talking about what type of sex they like, and I like to do this, and I like 2 women, and I like 3 women, and I like her to suck this and do this. Okay, start acting like you got to throw up. Isn't that what the one lady said with Brian Kohlberger? The conversation started getting too personal on the date at her house or wherever. She told him she was sick, went in the bathroom. Exactly. You got to know how to play a player. Start going to the door like you're throwing up. I don't care. Spit the damn drink out your mouth if you have to. and go out the door. And if some strange guy's coming up, wanting to be all on your shoulder and your neck, hey, what's wrong? You need some help? No, I don't need no help. I'm sick. Get away from me. Get away from me. I don't feel good. I'm throwing up. Get away. You'll get on. Because don't nobody want to be thrown up on. Trust me. Then you run your ass out of there. And if you got to yell running down the street, then you do what you got to do. This is what's wrong with people. They ride the ride because they're fearful of people not liking them. But if you get an instinct that the people in the room are up to something, you got to find a way out of there. You've got to find a way out of there. So that's your best bet. So if you're invited anywhere, anybody young listening to this video, you better remember the address you are at. Send the Google address to someone. This is where I'm going to be. If I don't answer the text or call, you send the police to this address. And you tell them I'm in here and I'm not answering. You got to give people your location now. Even if you don't want people in your business, you don't want people knowing where you're going or who you're talking to. You might be getting your little hookup, but you don't want people in your business. Well, you're going to have to trust somebody. You're going to have to go ahead and tell it. I'm at the Marriott Hotel. I'm at Motel 6. You don't hear from me, call the police. I will notify you when I get here. If I think there's something strange, I'll send you a number, 1, 2, 3, whatever. Then you send security, police to that hotel to knock on room number 312 or whatever the hell the number is. You got to think now. Because you can't be caught slipping. Because sadists, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for a victim. This is sad. And I pray these allegations are not true. And Sean, somewhere in his sick mind, he thinks he's coming out of that jail in Brooklyn, the MDC. You're not coming out of there, honey. Right now, we are in winter, almost out of a 2024. By the time Sean goes to trial, if it actually happens, it'll be time for school to get out and we'll have flowers and the trees will be in full bloom. That's the point. Time waits on nobody. And he needs to prepare for the worst case scenario, that he's not coming out of there. Because as I have said before, and I'm going to say this and I'm going to check out of here. If the judge decides that he does not want to believe allegations from Cassie Ventura, because she's the catalyst of this indictment against Sean, the prosecutors can bring in other evidence to corroborate her allegations, such as videotapes of minors in the tapes, people appearing drugged, anybody filmed drugging someone, something in their drink, sexual assault, person passed out being raped, gang rape. He's done. He's done. He's done. He's done. And I got a feeling that's exactly what's going to happen. That's videos are going to be introduced into this trial. And people are going to forget all about Cassie Ventura and what he did to her and didn't do. Because if they show videos of other people being drugged, they appear to be children. They are taped. And obviously they didn't give their consent. As they say, a child can't consent to sex. Because you're not supposed to be having sex with a child anyway. You're not supposed to be exchanging porn with a child, asking a child for nude pictures. You're not supposed to be sending pictures to a child. You're not supposed to be engaging in video chat, Skype with nudity with a child. So it doesn't matter if a child said, okay, I'll send a picture. Yeah, I'll have sex with you. Yeah, I'll do these things to you. Yeah, you can do these things to me. It doesn't matter. The law says a child is not supposed to be having sex with a grown-up, bottom line. And these people know better. So I won't doubt there are tapes with children on them. They are drugged. They are sexually assaulted, God forbid, sexually assaulted by others. He's done. Sean is done. Now, as for Jay-Z, I don't know what he's done, not done. As I said, I hope for his sake, he did not assault this 13-year-old girl. But as the law provides, there has to be proof. And that's on the burden of the state to prove Jay-Z sexually assaulted this girl. If indeed it goes to a trial, a judge decides to bring it forward and put it to print. So let's ask that question. It is now just a demand letter. And Sean has spoken out to say, I didn't assault this girl. I'm not that type of guy. I'm from the projects. We don't do this. As I said in my live the other day, it don't matter where you come from. A sadist is a sadist. Whether you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth, you were born in the urban neighborhood, you were born in the country in a trailer. If your mind ain't right, your mind ain't right. Don't matter where you came from. Don't matter who your mama is. If you're sick, you're sick. Did Sean Carter, Jay-Z, sexual assault a 13-year-old girl in 2000 with Sean Puffy Combs? That they witnessed the assault, heard the assault, saw her there, because Jay-Z and naturally Sean want her to be revealed, her name, her face, because now she's an adult. Will she be seen, heard? We get her name, her face, and some. She did go back there. They did sexually assault her. I was there. Can somebody corroborate this woman's story? If indeed we find out who she is, will there be someone to come forward and tell the prosecutors, yes, that young lady was at that house because I was there? Has Sean Carter? Now, this is just an allegation, but has he sexually assaulted a woman, man, or child before? If so, what's the head count? Will there be other allegations against Jay-Z? Will he eventually settle the suit or take it all the way to the highest court? Will a judge throw the civil suit out? Will Jay-Z be called to court to testify pertaining to Sean Puffy Combs? Shut your mouth. How many people will have to go to court to testify in trial of Sean Puffy Combs? And who else is going to be added to the list of cohorts, co-conspirators for sexual assault against a woman, a man, a child with Sean Puffy Combs? This is atrocity. It's atrocious behavior. It's degrading, because there's no reason for a man or a woman to ever sexually assault a child, a man or woman, drug them, grope them, film them, bring in other co-conspirators and people joining in to gang rape another human being. You are the lowest form of life. Because there's too many people out here that you can have sexual relations with than to take the cookie. It's despicable. And I pray, as I said, for Jay-Z's sake, he didn't do this, because he's a father of girls. He's a husband. He's an entertainer. People look up to him. And now imagine people decide they don't like him. They don't want to deal with him. They don't want to fool with him. Get out of here with that nonsense. Like, share, subscribe. Drop your comments below this video. Follow the Queen on the Newsbreak app, where I give similar commentary. This is a diverse channel where I talk about breaking news, various topics. And if you'd like to donate to this great network, $Big Angie, 129 Cash App. I want to thank you for your time, your support. Will there be other allegations against Jay-Z? Will we find out who this young lady is? Will she end up having to testify in the upcoming trial against Sean Puffy Combs? Did she tell somebody about the sexual assault that can corroborate her version? Did she tell her parents that night when the father came and picked her up? Did she tell a friend, family member, school teacher? Will somebody be able to corroborate her story? Did she have or keep some type of proof pertaining to that night? What is the truth? We will see. Happy holidays. Be safe. Be aware of your surroundings while shopping, ordering online, leaving packages out. Make sure somebody can retrieve your packages for you when you're not home. Beware of scams, schemes. Do not go over to people's cars, vans alone in the day or night if they're trying to sell you something. Be careful what you post on social media pertaining to your goodies and where you're traveling. Leave your lights on inside and outside of your home when you're traveling, going out of town, and also shopping and being away from your home. And just keep your eyes open for porch pirates and people looking to rob you. If you're shopping a lot in a shopping center or mall, you might want to take some of your parcels home and then come back out to shop. Please be aware of your faculties and your surroundings. Thank you all so much for joining me. Welcome all new subs and viewers. Happy holidays to everybody. You have been listening to the Vault XL. Thank you.